Hello, my lovelies. Today is Saturday, April 24th, 2021. The current temperature today is 17 degrees Celsius. We are down on the Bedford waterfront at DeWolf Park, and there is a great big container train heading past us. This is actually Mill Cove. It is a little bit breezy. A lot of people are excited to see the train. I did a video on the bus ride coming down here, and we passed this when it slowed down because another train was coming into the city. So it goes from 2 tracks down to 1, so they had to stop one train. That was a 2-engine train. And it probably is the length of 2 or 3 kilometers long, filled with containers heading from the South End Container Terminal and the Fairview Cove Container Terminal off to destinations in Montreal, Toronto, and the American Midwest. Now we are just walking along the little wharf here in the wind. Give you an idea of where we are. So those are homes and office buildings over here. There is a Sobeys on the other side where Kiddo and I grabbed a picnic lunch and had something to eat because we were both getting a little peckish on the bus. Now, I figured I have to get this local celebrity in because he's going to be moving to Lake Ontario, most specifically Hamilton. But, it's Theodore Tugboat. Theodore, too, was our ambassador. It was based on a series of children's books that turned into a CBC children's show. Up until a few months ago, it was owned by, I believe, Peter Murphy, who owns a lot of the boats down on the waterfront. Sorry about the wind. So he did put up the boat for sale, and it has been bought by a company based out of Hamilton, Ontario, and Theodore is going to be an ambassador going around the Great Lakes. When Kiddo was 4 years old, we went on a harbor cruise on Theodore. And because it was his birthday, they let him pilot the boat. And over here, we have the Harbour Queen, still with her wheel. Now this, at one point, apologies for the wind, at one point the Harbour Queen was one of the original ferry boats going between Halifax and Dartmouth, and in most recent years it is a harbor cruise party boat that you can rent out and do parties. Or different functions as well, but it still has like the curvy old staircase in the windows. And then we have the tall ship Silva. Oh, that wind. I apologize for any wind sounds. Now the tall ship Silva. It should be going out soon into the harbor. I think right now with our current situation with COVID, it won't be. But you can take harbor cruises on here. They do for private functions. There's a pub. And I do know people that go on this for a wine tasting cruise around the harbor. And I'm not sure what the other ship is that is over there. Is quite the extensive walking path because you can take this trail that I'm going to be on and it will divide and go over to this part of the walkway, but I don't think today we will be going over on that side. So just because we are down on the water, it is a little bit windy. My hat, I am wearing a ball hat today because of the sun. Has almost blown off a couple of times. So that's looking over, going towards Dartmouth and Burnside. But if you're wondering why it looks so desolate and full of trees, that is what we call Magazine Hill. It is an underground bunker for the military to store ammunition. So it's an ammunitions depot underneath that hill. And let me see if I can zoom in on this. Not very far. It only gives me 2 times the zoom. There is an island over there with 2 mansions. They are private. It is a privately owned island. The 2 homes. At one time, during World War II, even during the Great War of World War I, all this water would have been filled with munitions boats and naval boats, merchant seamen, all going out to do their part. Now it's just usually sailboats and pleasure cruise.
Did you tell Eddie you were going to Mars? Oh yeah. What did you say?
I do have the sun glaring on my little view screen. So this is still part of the Halifax Harbour. It's the most northerly point of the harbour. It's where it ends. So by where those condos were when I first started my video is where the path will split off. Now this whole area was developed back starting in the early 90s. Because of the weather being so beautiful today, there are a lot of folks out enjoying themselves. Kids are getting their pictures taken with Theodore before he heads off to the Great Lakes. I figured today would be a beautiful day to come out here. I haven't been out here for quite some time. Probably about 5 or 6 years. I don't drive, so I have to take a transit to get out here, so it usually takes about a half an hour or so. So this is the Bedford Harbourwalk. In spite of being in lockdowns, playgrounds are still open. We are being encouraged to get out and enjoy the fresh air and get the exercise. My hat almost blew off again. I don't normally wear ball hats. I look dorky in them. Around here is where Mark and I had our little lunch. Now this is the park too, where every summer they have a festival down here called Bedford Days. Bedford was unofficially founded in 1603. It had always been a stopping point for the explorers. And this is also the park where you can come out and watch them fire off the fireworks on Canada Day. So these little plaques here just basically give you the history of the Bedford Basin. There used to be barracks here, fishing camps for the indigenous. So he was Vice Admiral Harry DeWolf of the Royal Canadian Navy. And he was on the Haida, HMCS Haida. So there's some ducks out there. Looked like that was a grouse. Now way off in the distance is both harbor bridges that are spanning. The closest one to us would be the A. Murray McKay Bridge, the new bridge. It doesn't have any pedestrian walkways. It's only for vehicles. And behind that would be the Angus L. MacDonald Bridge, and going all the way out to the Atlantic Ocean. There are little clusters of people socially distancing from each other, which is great to see. People out walking, enjoying the beautiful weather. Just to give you an idea of how far we've walked. There. I'm still not used to this very teeny tiny little view screen. It's probably like an inch squared. So it's teeny tiny. I do have Kiddo with me. He is walking up ahead. He hasn't been here before. Now, in an old previous video, I had mentioned that the city put 12 of these around the city, and it's to commemorate the Halifax explosion that happened in 1917. There are two in Fort Needham Park. There's this one. There's two, I believe, on North Park Street up by the Halifax Commons and the Armory buildings. And I believe Dartmouth has a couple as well. Ooh. I'm trying to muffle the wind. I didn't realize it was going to be windy. Oops. And my wind muff, is what I'm going to call it, is in my backpack, in my little case that I'm using now to hold on to all the accessories for my pocket. So there are some townhomes here, right on the water. They are lovely. Notice my camera. But yes. is a little bit narrower.
Yeah, they're all pretty precious.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, they just come up.
This is the residential part of the walkway. Going past the townhomes and the condos. Just gonna let people pass. There is a sign here saying that the water in the pond is treated. In between these two buildings is a fountain that is feeding the pond. Now there are plans. I don't know how long it will take, but they want to take all the little connecting harbor walks and eventually get them all connected so that you can circumnavigate the whole harbor. And I gotta keep an eye on this. I had a glare. Sorry, my lovelies. It's a lot of people out walking. I believe probably the majority are residences of the condos and townhomes. If I had the money, maybe I would live here instead of in the Alexander. There's a blue nose replica in the window. The blue nose is our official symbol of Nova Scotia. And it's also our nickname. So if you're from Nova Scotia, you are a blue noser. So, we don't want to head over to the construction. There's development over there. They do have a little bit of a trail that goes, but then it has a dead end, according to Google Maps. All right, my lovelies. I think I will end this video here. We'll just take in the sights. So I want to thank you all for coming with us all the way out to Bedford and walking around DeWolf Park and the Bedford Harbourwalk. I'm glad we got to see our local celebrity Theodore Tugboat while we were here. Hopefully we caught some of that train at the very beginning. Now, if you want to support my channel, I do have links down in the description box for my PayPal and my Patreon if you want to do that. I just got monetized, and I don't have the option yet from Google to do channel memberships. So when those are available, then I will be posting that as well. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Get the bell notification so you know when I'm going to be uploading or if I'm going to be live streaming, because I do live streams as well. I do want to thank my top tiered Patreon members, which are Vivian Johnson, Michael Gray, Dequeue, and Giga. Without their support, I wouldn't have had my software, my editing software. I couldn't even think for a second. Editing software. And I just bought 2 external power packs that should be arriving early this week from Amazon. So thank you for all your support. And my lovelies, I will see you next time. Bye.